Hello, I'm Pastor Jeremy Combs, and we're going to pause for a proverb. Let's go. New chapter today, Proverbs chapter 6, getting into some money here. Verses 1 and 2 says, My son, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hand with the stranger, thou art snared with the words of thy mouth, thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. Your word is your bond is not just an antiquated philosophy, but for the Christian, it needs to be a way of life. Honesty is not just the best policy. Again, for the believer, it ought to be the only policy. So whether you're making a simple promise or a statement, or you're giving a gesture like a handshake, a Christian should follow through with his promises. So Solomon says the wise person is going to be cautious to give a guarantee until he knows both what he is investing in and with whom he is investing in. It can be foolish to make rash vows simply because you want to be the nice guy or someone is your pal. Think it through. It's likewise foolish to invest with someone who's a stranger to us. Now, remember in Proverbs, stranger isn't the idea so much as unknown, but it's the idea of they don't believe as we do. So be careful who you make a promise with. And the idea, simply put, is do your research and make sure you know your facts. Verse 3, do this now, my son, and deliver thyself when thou art come into the hand of thy friend. Go humble thyself and make sure thy friend. George Washington advised this. He said, be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those few be well tried before you give them your confidence. True friendship is a plant of slow growth and must undergo and withstand the shock of adversities before it is entitled to appellation. That's some pretty good truth there, and advice from our first president, Mr. Washington. You know, nothing can be more detrimental to a friendship than entering a business or money deal with them. Sometimes what happens is our emotions override our logic. And this is why Solomon's going to warn his son. Notice he's using that phrase, my son, again, to humble himself and say, you need to take some time and make right decisions. From the friend standpoint, it's important that right off the bat for us not to put unfair pressure on someone based upon a past, present, or maybe even a future friendship. The key to friend or the friend who's borrowing or the friend who's loaning is this: humility. We've got to be humble enough to honestly look at both sides and make sure that the deal is beneficial for both sides. In many cases, it would be so much better for you to lose a good deal than to lose a good, solid friendship. Let's look at two more verses today, verses 4 and 5. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. In a world where the world's mantra is, if it feels good, do it, they also have another false mantra. It is, if you want it, get it. So often in life, we are managed by our money rather than we ourselves managing our money. Well, what are you? Is money managing you, or are you managing money? These verses finish the thought, starting all the way back in verse 1, about loaning or investing money with people. There can be great snares in get-rich-quick schemes. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And just because someone's a good friend doesn't make it a worthy investment. Remember, we're stewards of what God has given us. It's His money. This includes investments too. So before you go and invest God's money or investments in something or someone, you better not only do your research, as we saw, but also reach out to God for His input. Here's the problem with these steps we've just gone through. You often cannot come up with the answers immediately or instantaneously. Yet sometimes these delays of prayer and getting your research done can actually end up being a saving grace in disguise for you. So invest God's money and investments wisely today. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.